Hi guys, it's Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, I am back after a while with finishing up this piece. This is what we're going for, is a piece like this. And we're doing it inside of our... I just had to cut this out, you guys, because I had to make prints of this, of my work here. So I took it out. So, but this does belong in my art journal. So let me show you where it belongs. It belongs right here in my art journal. Wait, yeah, right here in my art journal. I had to take both these out because I had to make prints of both of these. So that's why this is like the way it is. Anyway, and I explained that before in my last video. Okay, so this is what we're going for. And right now we're going to work on the boot itself on a set. Well, I'll show you in a second. We're going to take that boot and we're going to collage it into this background. And if you don't know how we got to this point of making this background, just look at the like 3 or 4 videos and you'll see how we got to this point where we got this beautiful background. Okay, so I'm going to put my art journal aside, or my altered book, because this is really a book that we've altered. I'm going to put that aside. And then what I did is I drew out an old school roller skate, which is some old school roller skates that I wish I owned. I really love them. Okay, so this was, this is my drawing, and my original drawing, and I think this is actually a copy of my original drawing. Doesn't matter. Anyway, and I inked it all out. I made a copy of it onto some cardstock. Okay, so we're right here right now. What I did to prep this, because, you know, coloring this skate up will take me a while. I went ahead and got a head start, and I used some acrylic paint, just some Apple Barrel light pink called Baby Pink, and I did the whole skate. On the wheels, this is actually some watercolor. It's Jane Davenport watercolor. So it's her watercolors, and it's actually that color right there, which is called Fairy Tale. So I used some of Jane's Fairy Tale color just to give a nice light coat. And so what will happen is I will shade everything in with pencil. So, and that's what this right here, this is pencil that I've been shading in on the outside. And then we're going to do some Donna Dewberry roses on this whole boot. And I will show you how to do that. Okay, before we get started though, I wanted to do a giveaway. I've been wanting to do a mixed media giveaway, and I just need to take time to go through my stuff and gather some things together. So this is what's in the giveaway. Okay. And all you have to do for this giveaway is just leave a comment. That's it. And in the next video, we will announce the winner of this giveaway. And this is just to say thank you to everybody who's so sweet and supportive. And you guys always say the kindest things and just give me so much support with my mixed media. And so I want to say thank you. So this is the way I will do it, by doing a nice little giveaway. Just a second. Let me just see if I can't get things a little bit better so you can see more. Just a second. Perfect. Okay, so I have this stamp, which I love. It's a rose. And you guys, it's a foam stamp. And these foam stamps really stamp down nicely, you guys. And they leave a nice print. I love these foam stamps, way more than I thought I would. Okay, then I have this 6x6 stencil. It's a tree stencil, and it's by Jamie. It's a Crafter's Workshop. I think it's fabulous. Isn't that cool? And this is all mixed media type of stuff. Since we're doing I'm doing a mixed media video. This is all the kind of stuff for people who watch my channel who I think you guys would like. So, just a second. I am still messing with this stupid camera. Okay. Also, now these aren't completely new, but I barely used them, you guys. I used them like just to test them out. And it's not that I don't like them. It's the Recollections watercolor crayons, so water-soluble crayons. It's not because I don't like them. I just have so much stuff, I don't use them. So I thought, you know what? Let me give these away. So, like I said, they're barely used. I just basically tested them out. I think the purple and the teal is maybe a little bit more used, but not really. So, some water-soluble crayons, which are fabulous, by Recollections. This is called Sketch Card Mania, How to Create Your Own Original Collectible Trading Cards. This book is so cool, you guys. It teaches you how to make your own trading cards, and really you can make your own, you know how we all make our own little cards? We just call them, what do we call them? Art cards. So it's just little ideas on how to make different things. Like this is an elf warrior, how to draw her out. You can put that on a card. Look at that, a unicorn. How cool. Okay, so that book is really cool. This is it says the Creative Coloring Book for Grown-Ups, Glorious Garden. Fabulous coloring book. Look how pretty the pictures are. And it's super thick. Look how gorgeous that is, those flowers. So this would be a really fun coloring book. And, you know, for mixed media people who love to do mixed media, we usually like all this type of stuff. We like doing little artist trading cards. We like coloring books. We like mixed media. We like all this kind of stuff, right? So that is what we're going to do in this giveaway. So just leave a message, or just leave a comment, any comment at all. Oh, I should say this though. It's only for US because I can't afford to send it out of the country. I wish I could, but US Postal Service has gone crazy with their prices. So, okay. So, I'm sorry, but this is for US only on this giveaway. But just leave a comment, and that's all we have to do. Okay, let's get started. We're going to do some shading on this boot. And let me come in a little closer. Let's see if I just bring this down closer, if that'll work. Yeah, because I want you guys to be able to see me doing the whole boot. So I'm not going to come any closer than that. I think that'll be good. So I already got some shading started. And you will see me having to turn my page just because I have to be at the right angle. What I do want to say is that these are Prismacolor pencils. I'm using a mixture of Prismacolor pencils and Jane Davenport's colored pencils. And when you lay down acrylic paint, like a flat acrylic paint, it has so much tooth, like great tooth for using pencil over it. And so does watercolor. And watercolor is what I used on the wheels as a base. So the base of this to do my shading with pencil is the acrylic paint. And like I said, it has an excellent tooth for pencil. Colored pencils love to be used over flat acrylic paint. It does need to be flat acrylic paint. So your nice cheapy apple barrel paints or any of those will be perfect. Just a second. I need to outline. After I did use the acrylic paint, I lost the outlining a little bit of the inner part of this boot. So I just want to go back. I'm taking a black Prismacolor pencil and just relining all this. Okay. And this is like, right here is where I'm putting all these like little triangles, is where you string your laces. That's what these are representing. Okay. And then this is like the little, this is all the laces. And all this was already here in the original drawing in black. So it totally, I'm just having to draw over it to bring it back out after the paint went over it. So, see, it was already there. So it's easy just to look through and be able to put all those lines back in. The only line I'm not putting back in, let me turn my thing around. I'm not putting back in the shoelace back in. I'm not putting that in. Okay. All right, just wanted to get all of that, all of those lines back in. All right, it gets me where I'm going a lot better. Maybe I do need to come in just a tad bit. Okay, there we go. And that's why I needed to put that line back in so I could do that shading right here. Because otherwise I lost the line there to shade. And what I like about what I'm doing is I'm using, what color am I using? This is Processed Red, which is like a hot pink. It's really weird. It's a really pretty magenta pink. Magenta type of color. Anyway, I'm using that color, and then I'm using a blender pencil to blend it out. And when you do that, it just blends it out so nicely, and you don't have to go and find the next lighter shade. Like, to blend this out, I would have to go to the next lighter shade, and then the next lighter shade. So I'd have to use 2 more pencils. By using a blender pencil, you can just blend this out to the next lighter shade that'll blend right into the skate. So if you don't have a lot of pencils, having a blender pencil is awesome because it just saves you from having to buy like 3 different shades of pink or blue or yellow or whatever it is to blend that out. You can just use the blender, and then it will just create the light, it'll create the medium tone and then lighter shade. Some people don't like using a blender pencil and don't like using this technique. I absolutely love it. And sometimes I'll blend it out and I'll still take a lighter shade and blend it over it. Just kind of depends. It depends on what's going on. I never have one steadfast rule for anything. You kind of look at things and see, like, what does this need? Like, if I wasn't liking how this is blending out, I would go to a lighter pink color and maybe use that and blend it out too. And I get my blender pencils usually, well, either from Michaels or from Blick's. And this is a Blick's one. This is where Blick sells their own colored pencils. So go to that section where they sell their own colored pencils. They sell them like singularly. And that's where you'll find the blender pencil. If you go to Blick's Art Supplies. And they're cheap. They're like, I don't know, $2 a piece. I always try to buy 3 or 4 of them when I go because where my Blick's isn't far from my house, but it's not in any area that I always go to. So I feel like I always have to go out of my way to go get these pencils. Sometimes they don't have them at Michael's, and sometimes they do have them at Michael's, and then that's when I usually have to go over to Blick's and get them. But Michael's has them too. They're actually cheaper at Blick's, unless you use a coupon at Michael's. Then they're about the same price if you use a coupon, so. I absolutely love the way it feels to color on top of this acrylic paint. And I've heard people say that they don't like the way that feels, the tooth of the acrylic paint. So I don't know, it's weird. I love it. I feel like I'm coloring on something that really is catching the pencil. Okay, so now let's take our blender and blend out. Now let's suppose you didn't have a blender and you want to do this. Well, you just do it how people normally do it, which is get this color, get a medium tone, and get a light color. So what that does is, and that will blend. So you'll go from dark, medium, light, and then by using those and going over what you already colored, and going from medium, dark, light, you'll blend it out. You'll blend out this darker magenta pink color. But I would rather just use this blender pencil. I love it. Okay, so after I'm done doing this, we're going to head to the flowers. The hand-painted roses. Because I know that's why a lot of people probably clicked on this video. They're like, hand-painted roses on the skates. Oh, I see that. I mean, not a lot of people, but the people who clicked on here, I think that's what they want to see. Okay. But I just thought it was important to show you some shading with this pencil, with this blender pencil. And I haven't used, I should buy a couple of them. I will the next time I go. I have not used Blick's colored pencils. So I don't know how those are. But I'm curious to see how they are. I'll buy a couple of them. I'll buy a couple colors that I use a lot of, which is purples, magentas, pinks, and see how I like them, because I like their blender pencil. We'll see how soft they are. And like, I like Jane Davenport. I like her pencils. They're not as soft as Prismacolor pencils, but they're still very nice. So I wonder how soft Blick's pencils are compared to Prisma's, compared to Jane Davenport. So we will find out. I'll do a little, either I'll do a separate video on that, or I'll just incorporate it when I'm working on some stuff. Knowing me, I'll probably just incorporate it when I'm working on something. I'll be like, let's check out this Blick pencil. And I probably never checked it out before, because I mean, that's all I need is more pencils. I've got a lot of pencils. I have a nice big set of Prismas. I have Jane Davenport's. I have the Scholar pencils of Prismacolor, which are cool for some really cool colors. You know, they're a little harder. They have some really cool colors. So, I got a lot of pencils. Okay, so now we got all the shading done. Doesn't that look cool? Love it. I would do some more shading in through here if I wasn't going to do these roses, but we're going to paint these roses. So, let me look at my time situation. Okay, so let's paint some roses. So, when you're doing the Donna Dewberry flowers, she suggests using the folk art paints, and because she likes the thicker paint. So if you have some other, you can use regular acrylic paint. You don't have to use the folk arts, but they are really nice with her technique. Also, I have her brushes. I have found that using her brushes is the best, using her techniques. So I get her brushes on HSN. She had some unicorn looking brushes, some mermaid brushes. Aren't these gorgeous? And then she has other brushes that look like this, which is with a green stem. So we're using an angled brush. This will be for leaves and for rosebuds. I'm going to use this one for the flowers, and this is a flat, looking to see, calling it number 10 flat. And this is, I'm not sure, it probably looks like about the same size, number 10, but it's at a slant, which makes rosebuds and really simple leaves a lot easier. So here we go. So I loaded my palette with, what color is this? What the hell color is this? They're calling it Podge Pink. That's weird. And Wicker White. Okay. And you can get your folk art paint for a really good price at Walmart. I think they're like less than $1 each. So it's one of the cheaper places to buy them. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do our the largest rose right here. So let's load the brush. And on this one, you want to pretty much load half and half. Half of the magenta and half, so like that. Okay? Half and half. And you want the white to be on this side and the pink to be on that side. Okay, let me just make sure you guys are seeing everything. Make sure I'm close enough. We could come in a little closer, just a second. Okay, there we go. I thought a little closer would be a little more appropriate. All right, here we go. Okay. And you guys are going to see me turning my work. Oh, the other thing is a thing called floating medium. This just makes sure that the paint stays wetter longer on your brush. Also, it'll reactivate the paint on your brush. So if you feel like you have enough paint, but it's just kind of drying out, you can just put it in the floating medium. Just dip it really quickly, what I just did. And this is the motion for these roses. See, like there's still enough paint on there. I just need to like activate it a little bit more. So instead of, well, no, I lied. I'm going to put more paint on there. There we go. Okay. Again, double loading the brush. And so I'm just kind of dipping it in this side and then re-dipping it on that side and going like that, okay? I need a little bit more magenta. Oh, come on. We'll see how that works out. Okay. So then we want to do the same thing inside. I'll show you. Easier to show than to talk about. And the size brush determines how big the flowers are going to be. So that's why I'm using this smaller brush. Cool. You could use, if you need to do a larger rose, you just use a larger brush. See if I like the way that looks. I think so. I'm kind of not liking it a whole lot. Let me see if I can just wipe it off. Yeah, let me wipe this off. We're going to do it again. I'm actually not... Okay, there we go. All right, let's try it again. There we go. What I wasn't liking, I just wasn't liking how that rose turned out completely. Which is a relief to see. If you're not liking how it turned out, you can wipe it off and start again. I just felt like those weren't the prettiest petals I've ever made. Rose petals. Okay. Oh, I'm liking this a lot better. Much better. Okay. And you know how I'm loading my brush up? I am actually doing more magenta and just a little bit of white on the edge. So 3/4 magenta and 1/4 of the white. And I'm liking that a lot better. All right, now we're going to do the roses on the inside, the rose petals on the inside. So now you just want to take it and you want to do some inside here like that. So it's the same motion, we're just going inside now. And I think that was exactly the problem, is I had too much white on my brush. I needed more magenta. Okay. And one more. Perfect. Now I'm liking that. Yay. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, let me just rinse my brush. See inside there in the middle? I want to pounce some green in the middle there, but we're not going to. I want to pounce some green in there and some yellow, I think, or some green and some white right in the center there, but we won't do that yet until it dries a little bit. Otherwise it just might get all gunky. We'll let that center dry out a little bit. In fact, actually, let's dry it. Let's get some of that dried out, because if not, let me put this on the ground. Just a second, you guys. I'm cleaning up some mess I have going. I have some paint over here, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to dry this, because I can just see. Getting paint everywhere, like I've been doing. Okay, so let me get my dryer. We're going to dry that out a little bit. Also, I'm grabbing some more colors for my leaves. Just a second. I think it's this color. Let's test that out. Okay. Let's dry that. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and get some green going here and some white. I think I'm using this green coat. I'm going to use this. It's Delta ceramic coat. I actually like this green right now better, I think. I think it's either this one or I'm going to do this here. Or I might be using this sagey green here. Let me test them out and we'll find out. And that noise was not me. I always say that. That was my bottle. All right, let me just see real quick which color I want to use. Or do I want to use this? Just a second, you guys. I'm testing out my greens really quick. Figuring out which one I want. Yeah. It's amazing when you test things out. You find out real quick. So I want to use the lighter green, the more sagey. So I'm just going to wipe that away. So I'm going to use this more sagey green, okay? And the white right here. Okay, so that's how I'm loading up my thing. Again, now I'm going to load my brush up with mostly green. Just a little bit of white on the edge. There we go. So that's how it's going to look. Oh, and you know what? Let me come out a little bit. Well, I think this is going to be good. Make sure you guys can see everything. Okay. I just loaded my brush up, but I'm not going to... Let me think how I want to do this. Well, yeah. I'm going to put some buds down from the rose. Sorry, you guys. You see me think on the fly. Okay, we're going to do the rose buds right now.